Have you ever had a bad day? Had bad thoughts? Find yourself in that negative thought pattern where everything seems to be worry, despair. You don't know how you're going to make it out and you just can't seem to get out of your head. If that is you, I encourage you to stick around to the end of this video. I have a solution for you. Hi, my name is Christopher Nix and I am the creator of The Hidden Creator Within. And I created this company to help people who have had emotional trauma and emotional pain throughout the years in order to identify what causes that and what's the triggers of that and how to solve that through spirituality. Now, you probably heard of spirituality before in the past, and you're like, what is that if you don't know? Or maybe you've heard or seen how they played in the movies. I'm here to tell you it's not like that. All it is simply connecting with that inner world of thoughts, emotions, and what's going on within you. Being able to identify, organize, and figure out where is this coming from. Through spirituality, it helps you connect with that inner self. And it helps you to be able to navigate this chaotic water of different emotions, ups and downs. To tell you a little bit about my story, I grew up in a middle-class family. I had my mom and my stepfather, and then on the holidays, I got to go visit my biological father. I was pretty fortunate growing up. I had pretty much everything I needed, but there still were things within my childhood that definitely impacted me and affected me. And for so long, I didn't realize that I was unconsciously living out of those experiences or those events that happened in my past. Specifically, one thing would be going back and forth between my parents. When I was down with mom and mom here, there was a certain set of rules I would have to follow. And then when I would go down to go see my dad, there were a certain set of rules I would have to follow there. That wasn't the issue. The issue was, when they would somewhat talk about one another and they would put me in the middle of that. And they didn't realize that they had an emotional impact. And at the end of the day, I realize now that, they were only, they were still hurt and they were still healing that they needed to do, but they were projecting it towards me. And that did have an impact on me. There was also the same time, even growing up. Yes, we were middle class, but it's not like we had everything we needed it. We need exactly, when I wanted it. And a lot of the times I would be told, hey, we're gonna do this for you, this is going to happen, but some things never fell through. And it felt like when it came to me specifically, it would never fall through. But for my siblings, my stepfather's children, which my brothers and sisters, it seemed like they had everything they needed. And from that, I misconstrued the situation, and I felt left out. I felt like that abandoned stepchild. But the reality of it is that wasn't true. Unfortunately, it took me about almost 13 years to truly realize that and recognize that. And that's how these things happen and how they function. A lot of the times they're rooted in childhood situations and childhood experiences. So what do I mean by that? Has it ever been a time in your childhood where it's a chaotic environment, where the money might have not been there, the lights might have been cut off, where you all moving from place to place? Or you could have been somebody who had an environment like mine where it wasn't bad. I had two parents in the household, but there were still, deeper psychological issues that were there. There was a point where I wasn't really expressive. You can call, I was an introvert. Even now to this day, I still have some of those tendencies. But a lot of this stuff is happening on an unconscious level, a level that we're not aware of. And we can go throughout life for so long, making certain decisions, taking certain actions, and we're always wondering, well, why am I not being met with the results that are going to make me happy? Why is it that I get into this relationship and this person cheated on me again? Why is it that I can never find love? A lot of these issues, a lot of these things that surround, that we keep experiencing, these cycles that we keep going through, they can all be tracked back to your childhood. Did you feel like there was a lack of love? Did you feel unsure, uncertain? Did you know where your next meal was going to come from? All these can play a deep emotional impact to us, and unless we actually take the time to go through and see, what caused this, why we feel this way, did we misconstrue or misperceive the situation, that we're going to still get triggered from those experiences, even as we're, in our adult life now. And I'm sure some of you have experienced that already. So how do we do this? Like I said, we tackle these emotional wounds and this emotional trauma through spirituality in order to provide the necessary emotional healing that we all are truly needing. One of the ways we go about this is what they call your energy centers, or also known as the chakras within you. If you've never heard of that, the chakra is just a spinning vortex of light that cannot be touched that's within you. Now, one of the things I always tell people is, what is emotion? One of the ways I love to break it down is emotion. Energy in motion. So a lot of the feelings that you continue to keep having, those emotions, they come from specific energy centers. And there's a reason why we start with the root chakra, because that is the childhood, the home life. How were things there? Like I said earlier, was it something where your parents were always arguing? Something you just kind of grew accustomed to, and you just kind of got used to it happening because that was the norm? See, what you don't realize is, just because that's the norm, you as a child, especially in the very beginning stages, you have so much gray matter when you're just a little itty bitty baby. From 0 to 3, and all these neurons are making connection. It's like a blank canvas. What I mean by that is, from 0 to 3, or from when you were just really, really young, you're highly impressionable. So even though that arguing and that nonstop bittering back and forth, it became the norm to you. So there's probably a good chance that you may be in a chaotic relationship where you all are always at each other's throats, at each other's head. And what you don't realize is that came back for so many years ago. And those same triggers that you might have experienced back then, they're happening now, and they revert you back to that childlike state. So what we have to offer is a step-by-step, comprehensive method, a roadmap to help you identify these emotional triggers and these emotional traumas that have taken place, and how to heal and how to address them and how to be aware of them, so when they do happen, you know where they're coming from. That's the thing. Once you understand the rules of the game, you know how to play it. And it's the same thing within yourself. There's a way that we function. We have to understand how this happens. So again, my name is Christopher Nix, and if you were able to get some value out of today's video, I highly encourage you to check out our YouTube page as The Hidden Creator Within, or find us on Facebook at The Hidden Creator Within, and send us a message. We'll be looking to help you just to have that conversation. Thank you.